Welcome to the Supreme Lending Dallas Show, where you'll be introduced to different speakers on different topics, and you'll meet different guests for each of our episodes. Let's get started.
Hi, my name is Liz Evans, host of the Supreme Lending Dallas Show, and today we have Dallas by Chocolate's Jeanine Stevens with us. And one of the things I get asked is, what does some of our shows do with the housing industry? And so what I like to do is I like to educate the people on the tours, the events, the museums, everything that goes on in the Dallas area, since we have such a large population moving to the DFW Metroplex. So right now I want to go ahead and introduce Jeanine, and go ahead and say hello to the audience.
Hi, hello, good morning.
Great. And Jeanine, you started Dallas by Chocolate and Dallas Bites in 2012. How did you come up with the concept?
Actually, I came up with it on a dare. My background is a freelance creative director, writer, and sometimes things are a little bit slow in the industry. And there was a period back in 2011 where I didn't have as much income as I wanted. So I had lunch with a friend, another writer, and I said, I'd like to do a side thing. And he said, well, what do you really like to do? And I said, I like to eat. And he said, oh, well, I just happen to have my family coming in from Michigan, and they would like to do some things in the Dallas area. And can you put together something for me? And so I put together a food tour, sort of some local restaurants, and they really enjoyed it. And soon I did a few more for him, some friends, for some sorority sisters. And one day we had lunch again, and he said, I dare you to do this for the rest of the world. And so I did some logistics, and I couldn't make it work. I was like, nah, a food tour or something, that won't work. And just started with a chocolate tour idea and made the logistics work. I couldn't believe it. Then we started with a tour. I asked some chocolatiers, some chocolate makers, some bakery people in the area if they were good with a tour, and they said, yes, that sounds really good. People like Catherine Clapner of Dude Sweet Chocolate, and Pam Udarik of a chocolate place called Chocolate Secrets. And and so we launched it in 2011 on a hot 107-degree day in a van, very little air conditioning, chocolate was melting. And anyway, we thought we were on our way to success, but that was not to be.
What happened?
Well, we were at a chocolate show, and I had pages and pages of people interested in a chocolate tour. I thought, this is great, but then nobody actually took a tour. Nobody registered. We put out the website and nobody registered, and I about gave up. And around Valentine's Day of 2012, someone suggested, well, why don't you just try Valentine's? It's a holiday with chocolate. You may as well try it. And so I said, okay, we'll just try it. And I was floored. We actually sold out that tour. It was on a bus because nobody walks in Dallas, of course, so we needed a bus. And then I put a few more tours out the following month, and we kept selling out these chocolate tours. And suddenly it was born, and then we added more tours, which that kind of cemented it as fairly long lasting.
So that was one of the best dares you've ever received, correct?
Probably one of the only dares, but the best one.
The best one,
and
yes.
It was good and chocolatey, yes.
Oh, and almost everyone loves chocolate, right?
Almost everyone loves chocolate, although we had some people who said, my husband does not like chocolate. My friends like tacos. Do you ever do any other kinds of tours? And I was like, No, but that's a great idea. So we started launching some some taco tours and some barbecue tours, some wine and chocolate tours and so on. And that really helped quite a lot. But I couldn't really call it Dallas by Chocolate because who's going to book a barbecue tour under Dallas by Chocolate? So we came up with Dallas Bites Tours. So it's kind of a dual name, Dallas by Chocolate and Dallas Bites Tours.
Thank you for that information, Jeanine. And we enjoyed reading about you growing up in the windy city of Chicago. What brought you to Dallas?
Well, I was engaged, and my fiance and I decided we did not want to shovel snow. And at the time, we were interviewing for jobs, and he ate some donuts one day at college, and because Texas Instruments was giving away donuts, and that led to actually getting a trip down here to TI, and we loved Dallas. We looked at other parts of Texas, and we loved Dallas, and so he got offered the job, and here we are, and we're still here many years later, and really enjoying the hospitality, the warmth, maybe not so much, but the milder winters. How's that? And not shoveling snow is okay too.
Yeah, and you're still going strong.
We're still going strong. Yep.
And Jeanine, you provide walking tours and motor coach tours. Tell us more about this. There's actually a photo that's come up on the screen that shows some of the different tours. Go ahead and talk about that.
Well, we have probably 90% of our tours are motor coach tours. We have an air-conditioned motor coach. We have small and large buses and huge buses for really big groups of like 50 people. So we can take as few as maybe 10 people and as many as 50 or so people. Now that COVID is kind of subsided, people are getting out more, and it's okay on most of these buses without the social distancing, but you'll have a uniformed driver, microphone, and all that. And so we go all over the city on our buses. We go to places like Grapevine, Fort Worth, McKinney, etc. We're going to start some overnight tours. And then we have our walking tours, and those really kind of get into the history of some really neat Dallas areas, like the Bishop Arts District. I fell in love with the Bishop Arts District. I made a wrong turn one day, and I found the Bishop Arts District, and it's just so fascinating with its history, Bonnie and Clyde, Oswald, and then there's other areas like Uptown, Deep Ellum, Grapevine. It's just so neat to lead a group of people, more intimate, maybe 8 to 15 people, and talk about the history, and of course eat delicious food at local places. We're strictly local. We don't go to chains. We are maybe to a fault, but we think that the mom and pop places really need to be showcased.
I agree there. And Jeanine, tell us more about the cultural and historical tours that you're talking about, because you educate them during your tours, correct? On the places that you go.
Yes,
just like you said, Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, we don't just have food to eat. We talk about the history in a fun way. We even do trivia questions about history of different foods like chocolate, tacos, history of Dallas, or whatever, for chocolate prizes, of course. Things like Ghirardelli chocolates and so on. But we try to point out neighborhoods, landmarks, and so on that people might not otherwise know about. A lot of people are like, I drive by here all the time. I never knew this was here. Or I didn't know that this place, like there's one hotel where Raquel Welch, the film star of the 60s and 70s, was a cocktail waitress and got her first job. And people will be like, oh, I had no idea. But it gives people an appreciation of where they are, and a lot about Dallas that you can feel proud of. We even call our tour guides ambassadors, because we are kind of ambassadors for the culture and the history. And we do some cultural tours as well, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Okay. And Jeanine, we have a viewer asking, what holiday tours do you do? What holiday tours do you offer?
Well, we offer tours for all different holidays, everything from Cinco de Mayo to Mother's Day, Father's Day, etc., even National Margarita Day. We have a Black History tour for Juneteenth, but our biggest tour is our Christmas tour. It's called Christmas Lights, Chocolate and Sips Tours, and they're almost every night in December. And we just go to some really cool dessert places, and then we view the lights in areas like the Park Cities and University Park, downtown Dallas, and now we're doing a Frisco Lights tour, which has proven to be really good. There's some great lights in Frisco, and you're on our motor coach, you're sipping hot chocolate, great beverages, if you know what I mean. Point out things, but
Hottie
toddies, whatever you want. And you can also BYOB, which is really good. Mm-hmm. We have different tours for all ages. We have a general tour that's for everybody, all ages. We have an adults only tour. And then we have a family-friendly tour. It's a little shorter. We only go to a few places, but we love kids. We love everybody. And then we've got some taco and dessert and lights tours, some wine and lights tours. So just something for everybody. But we did in pre-COVID in 2019, we had about 2,500 people take these Christmas lights tours in just December. So it was pretty crazy, especially running them from behind the scenes. That was even more crazy.
And how fun is that to get out at Christmas time and get in the spirit of Christmas, right? We have a photo up on the screen now of one of the places that you do tour.
Yeah, we have, just to wear your little Christmas lit up antlers or your favorite sweater, or just to come. Especially this year, it is just, people will want to get out, they'll want to see the lights, but the mood that everybody's in is so joyful. And also on the bus, while we're viewing the lights, we play Christmas music. People sometimes sing along. We play games like Christmas trivia or what's in the stocking. We'll pass around a stocking with mystery stuff.
How fun is that?
Try to do that. So those who want to play can do that, and they don't have to. But you're seeing the best of Dallas, the best of Frisco. It's just a fun time with friends, relatives, girlfriends. It's really a neat experience, and people love to come back each year.
Thank you for that information. And we have another question. Do you offer tours to those with food allergies or preferences like gluten-free, vegetarian, or vegan?
Actually, yes, we offer tours to all different dietary and allergy preferences. If you tell us in advance, that's the best thing, but we can accommodate gluten-free and vegetarian, those that don't eat certain meats or whatever, if we know ahead of time. We cannot promise that we will accommodate every type of dietary preference. For that reason, we have some special tours, like we have the Surprisingly Vegan Tour. It's a new tour that we just launched. We had our first tour in April, and our next tour is June 5th, and so on. We sold out both of those tours, which, knock on wood anyway, and we're ready to announce the next one is August 14th. But we have Courtney Garza, who is a noted local expert in vegan. She's vegan. She's got some great places. I've got some great places, and together it's wonderful. So, we hope to do some gluten-free and vegetarian tours, maybe a kosher tour. just to accommodate different preferences and to just educate people that there are all these options in Dallas that they might not know about.
Right, and I asked that question because my marketing coordinator, Rocky Colmary, she is vegan, and so she is really looking forward to doing one of your vegan tours.
And the food is delicious. Most people would say, well, if there's a vegan option, I don't know about that, but I try each thing. I will say I'm not vegan, but I have sampled everything, and I always sample everything before every tour so that I am sure that the quality is good. And the foods are just wonderful. The chefs that we go to have elevated vegan cuisine, and it's just, we have beautiful, beautiful things. We have things like stuffed mushrooms with wonderful ingredients. We've got rice balls, the arancini, beautifully presented. And we also do things like a grocery store that's vegan, or a vegetable garden, or things like that. So yeah, it's really a fun experience.
Okay, and as we come to the close of our episode, Jeanine, I have one last question for you. What's next for your company?
Oh, goodness. Well, we're going to do some overnight tours, I believe. We're going to go to places that people have always asked us about going to, like Cleburne. Like, people would say, Cleburne? What is in Cleburne? There's a Gone with the Wind museum. There's a root beer and a chocolate place with 30 different flavors of fruit beer. There's a little Opry there, a winery. We're going to try to do some Central Texas barbecue tours. So we have about 30 different tours. We're always expanding the tours. We're doing our first architecture tour next month, which there's so many great architectural things. The last home built by Frank Lloyd Wright is in the Dallas area, and so much more. So we're just full of all kinds of options I don't call them options, I call them experiences. People want experiences, whether they're teenagers or young adults or older adults or in between. They just want experiences.
And you are great about creating those experiences. So thank you, Jeanine. And if you want to follow Dallas by Chocolates, you can follow them on Facebook. You have Jeanine's phone number up on the screen. You have the website. And I just definitely think you should book a tour and find out what Dallas by Chocolates is all about. Thank you for joining this episode of Dallas by Chocolates with Jeanine Stevens and myself today, and have a blessed day.